Today we are doing lesson 7.2, complementary and supplementary angles. Our I can statements, I can identify complementary and supplementary angles, and I can use what I know about angles to find a missing angle measure. So for our key ideas, complementary angles. Two angles are complementary angles when their sum of their measure is 90 degrees. And they show you an example. Sometimes they are not adjacent, like these two. Sometimes they are adjacent, and you can see them touching, and almost always right angles when they're adjacent. We'll have that right angle marking in there as well. I think complementary corner. Complementary and corner both start with C. Corner is what I think of here, right angle. Supplementary angles. Two angles are supplementary angles when the sum of their angle measures is 180 degrees. Again, they don't have to be adjacent, but they can. If they are adjacent, they'll look like a straight line put together. Supplementary starts with an S. And when I think supplementary, I think straight line, which also starts with an S. So complementary, corner, 90 degrees. Supplementary, straight line, 180 degrees. All right. So for our first type of problem, they ask you to say whether the angles are complementary, supplementary, or neither. And you're going to support your answer with calculations. So for A, I have 70 degrees and 110 degrees. So I'm going to use some calculations to see the sum. It's 180. Okay, that tells me they're supplementary. Yes, you can use a calculator if you'd like to, but you still need to write down the calculations to support your answer. Okay, B, I have 41 and 49. When I add those together, I get 90 degrees. So that's going to be complementary. All right, for C, it doesn't look like it's either, but let's go ahead and support that with calculation. So 128 plus 62, looks like we get 190, so this one's going to be neither. Don't just go off of a look, use calculations to support your answer. Okay, go ahead and pause the video and try these three on your own. Okay, let's check our answers. Number one, we're going to add 26 plus 64. And then 26 plus 64 is going to give us a total of 90 degrees. So these are going to be complementary angles. All right, for problem 2, I have an angle that's 44 degrees and I have an angle that's 136 degrees. Together it's going to equal 180, so that's going to be supplementary. And then for number 3, I have 70 plus 19. That's going to give me 89, which means this is neither. Degrees. All right, let's take a look at these next ones. So we saw ones just like this in 7.1, except now instead of saying adjacent or vertical, we're saying complementary or supplementary. Then we'll write and solve an equation to find the missing value. All right, so looking here, I have a right angle, so that tells me it's going to be complementary. Complementary corner. It looks like a corner. 90 degrees. Okay, complementary. All right, so now I am going to write my equation. 4x plus 36 equals 90. When we have two-step equations, we do order of operations backwards. That means for this one, my first step is to subtract 36 from both sides. 36 minus 36 gives me 0, so I have 4x left on that side. And then on the other one, I'm doing 90 minus 36, and I'm getting 54. To get rid of the times 4, now I'm going to divide both sides by 4. So 54 divided by 4 gives me 13.5. Final answers should have a label of degrees. Let's take a look at B. Supplementary angles, straight line. Hopefully you can see the straight line there. Straight line, supplementary. All right, so straight line, it means 180 degrees. I need to set up my equation to equal 180 degrees. X plus x minus 4 equals 180. Okay, I'm going to combine the like terms here. It's x plus x, so I have 2x minus 4 equals 180. Now I'm ready to do my two-step equation. I'm going to start by adding 4 to get rid of the minus 4. Doing order of operations backwards, so we get rid of addition and subtraction first. So I have 2x equals 184. I cancel out the times 2 by dividing by 2. I get x equals 92 degrees. All right. Our last type of problem for today is doing constructions with a protractor, just like we did in 7.1. Again, I recommend that you watch part of the first step, pause, do it on your own with your protractor. You're doing what I'm doing on your paper. All right, draw a pair of adjacent supplementary angles so that one angle has a measure of 60 degrees. All right, so we're going to start by drawing a line using the bottom of that protractor as just a nice straight edge. Adding arrows on each end and adding a point in the middle. Now I'm going to line up my center point with my point and my line. Find where the line is that takes you to a 0. Line that up with your line. So I've lined up my center point, I've lined up my line. Now I'm ready to make my angle. I'm going to go to the right. The 0 on the right side is on the bottom set of numbers, so I'm going to use the 60 on the bottom set of numbers. Okay, so I am now going to make a point at 60, which I did, and now I'm going to rotate my protractor and move it so that I have it lined up on the bottom where it's nice and flat with the point I drew and the center point that's here. All right, I'm going to draw a line that goes out. When we were doing the vertical, we went in both directions, but here I don't want vertical angles. I want adjacent angles. I want these two that are next to each other. We already said this one was a 60 degree. And because I know they have to be supplementary, they're going to equal 180 together. This one on the left side is going to be 120 because 120 plus 160 equals 180. Okay, go ahead and pause the video and try these 3 problems on your own. Okay, let's check our answers. Number 4 and 5 tell whether the angles are complementary or supplementary and then find the angle of x. Okay, number 4 is a straight line. It is going to be supplementary angles. That means they're going to add to equal 180 degrees. So we're going to write and solve an equation to equal 180 degrees. 4x plus 5 plus 41 equals 180. We're going to combine the like terms that are on the same side of the equation. 5 plus 41 is 46. So I have 4x plus 46 equals 180. Then I'm getting rid of addition with subtraction. I'm doing an order of operations backwards. 46 minus 46 is 0, and then I'm doing 180 minus 46, and I get 134. And then to get rid of the times 4, I'm going to divide by 4, and I get x equals 33 and a half degrees. Don't forget about that degrees label on your answer. Let's take a look at number 5. Number 5, right angle there, that means it's complementary. Complementary corner, 90 degrees. Okay, so this time we're going to set up and solve an equation to make it equal 90. X plus 2x minus 3 equals 90. Combine the like terms. X plus 2x is 3x, so I have 3x minus 3 equals 90. I get rid of the minus 3 by adding 3. So I have 3x equals 93. And I'm going to divide both sides by 3. And I get x equals 31 degrees. Okay, and our last one here, draw a pair of adjacent supplementary angles so that one angle has a measure of 15 degrees. We're going to draw a straight line down at the bottom. We are going to add arrows. On the ends, we're going to add a point in the middle. We're going to line up our center point with our point and our line with our line. We're going to measure to the right, and that means using the bottom set of numbers. 15 is halfway in between 10 and 20. Ooh, I did not do a good job of picking that point. When you rotate, you need to make sure you match up the point you drew and the point that's over here. And we are going to, wow, be nice if I could use this like a ruler and actually trace against it so it's nice and straight. Unfortunately, I can't really do that. Okay, this one is 15. To get that other one, I would have to do 180, and I would have to subtract 15. That's going to tell me 165 is the other part of that angle. Don't forget about those degree signs. And our last one here, true or false. Go ahead and pause the video and try these on your own. Okay, let's check our answers. Number 1, supplementary angles could both be acute. That answer is false. If they're both acute, they're not going to equal 90 degrees. I'm sorry, 180 degrees. Supplementary is 180 degrees. So you can't have two angles less than 90 add to equal 180. Number 2, supplementary angles could be congruent. That one's true. If they're congruent, then they're going to be two 90-degree angles, like this one. All right, 3, complementary angles sum to 180 degrees. That's false. They're going to sum to 90. Number 4, complementary angles could be obtuse. That's also false. If it's obtuse, it's more than 90. Together, they need to add to equal 90. And last one, every angle has a complement and a supplement. That one is false. Every angle has an angle that you can add to equal 180 as long as it's smaller than 180. But if you have something that's like an obtuse angle, like 100 degrees, you can't add something to it to get to 90. That would be an angle measure. So no, not everything has a complement and a supplement. If it's already bigger than 90 degrees, it can't have a complement.